Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, members only live. I suppose I could test my camera. Does it work? No. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to the channel because you're watching after the fact, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, this is an impromptu live stream as I had a technical issue where all of my desk, and that would be my Windows 11 sound desk, not my voice meter banana desk, muted all of my input lines. Don't know why, but I've got to figure that out so it doesn't happen again. And ultimately, the only way of doing that is by testing while I've got a live stream running. So I'm hoping this is actually going out to members. Seems to be, as far as I can see on the stream. So I do actually have a whole panel full of people, so I'll open the lines on them. You can enjoy them chit-chatting and enjoy me swearing if you can still hear me when the computer crashes or I lose sound again. So there we go. Let's open those lines now.
These observations are used to support something. It's used to support a narrative,
Lite,
like the
Lite.
so-called. All right, Steve, hold on. I'm working on it. I'm not saying it is a lie or not, but I'm just saying it's supporting a narrative nonetheless, and that narrative is the so-called Ice Age, billions and billions of years ago, right?
A quick question then. What's your feeling about them finding like woolly mammoths with food in their mouth? Do you believe that's a thing?
I don't know about that because in
Oh,
archaeology and stuff like
I
that,
heard a
there's a lot of
rumor.
fraud. Wait a second, guys. Like I said, Humble, there's a lot of fraud in the archaeology, right? So I don't know what to believe when it comes
oh
to
yeah,
archaeology.
Yeah.
that's so yeah. If you believe that's a fraud, then yeah. But
I'm not
they,
saying it
they,
is. I'm just saying because there is, I just take it with a grain of salt, right? Or whatever they
Here's,
say.
it's not proven.
I got you. I got you. But I'm saying um, there are certain Bible believers, right, who believe it, and that's their use. They say that that's what these guys use to talk about the ice age, but they believe that all these things didn't take
Yeah,
long periods of time. It could have happened with the flood.
they're religious kooks. My God. That's what, people forget what religious kooks they are, right? Especially after
Wait,
once you
Steve,
become a man. Why are you interrupting me, righteous?
Steve, because we want to keep a nice,
I am
gentle.
keeping it on nice. I'm
Well,
just sitting here.
let's not call
Well,
people
then why
kooks
do you
then.
interrupt me? I had one little statement to make about bringing it back to earth. And then you want to stop me? I haven't said a damn thing all morning. What the fuck?
No
Steve,
swearing.
let's calm down.
Yeah, you righteous.
Yeah, we're also on show, so just keep
Yeah.
it down.
Well, okay. Sorry, I'm cussing. All I was going to say is you're at the you guys are repeating man knowledge from about geology and without any type of verification. My God.
Seen all this stuff. I've seen it. I mean, I
Yeah, I
literally
know. I
watched them
know.
do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, I see the Grand Canyon. Now you got two options, right? You got
You
the
can see the
make
lake.
believe, you got the story they told you, and you got possibly the other option would be what? They mined the Grand Canyon? Oh, I got you. There is a different story.
Do you have Flight Simulator? If you have Microsoft Flight Simulator, if you go into that and then you fly around the Grand Canyon, just to the north and the east, you'll see how big the lake was. You can literally see the different like shorelines, and
Yeah.
then how there was probably like a little earthen dam that broke. Probably when the earth opened up her mouth, that released the floodwaters, so they were able to drain. They basically drained to the south. And so you can basically see how the flood was sitting there and then it basically drained. And if you look in the Grand Canyon, there's successive mud dams because anytime you play in the mud, right, the mud moves, it forms a dam, then it breaks, and then forms a dam, and it breaks. And if you look through the Grand Canyon, you can see those all the way through the Grand Canyon. So it's not a
Yeah.
conspiracy. It's just
Well,
it's just the way it is, and nobody likes to
there's
be told the
nothing
way
in
it is.
there's nothing in your life that isn't a conspiracy. Give me a break. You're telling me things that you have no factual evidence for. Don't give me
I
that
literally am
crap.
telling you, I
No,
fly
you're
all
coming
over the
out
earth,
acting like,
and I've
my
been a lot of
God, you're
places.
coming out. Oh, like,
I,
yeah,
I,
we all
I don't
have.
want to
But
lie to
we
you.
have.
You seem like a nice
Hold
guy.
on, guys. Ignorance.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to pinpoint. You have brought a lot of good information here this morning. I just want to be, you can't make stuff up. I mean, I agree with you. I look at this too. I mean, there's
Oh.
people out there all over the internet doing what you're talking about. And I'm just saying that man has ruled the earth since pre-mortal. You understand that? The devil has ran this place since the beginning of time. It's critical to understand this when you come out here and try and find the truth. You can't make stuff up. Just like a
True.
jet engine. You were talking about the jet engine. That's God's engine. You know, people they want to skip over physics. My God.
Right. And then there's always room for perspectives, and that's where everybody is in their
Right.
life. Knowledge is
I
power.
agree with you. I agree with you. But I mean, I'm just saying, we're talking about the flood, the geology. I mean, no matter how
I know,
you
but
slice it, right now you can open up your eyes and you can see how much mining goes on with the devil. Like they'd really love to mine, if you haven't noticed.
do you want it to be a
Really?
mine? You can
And
make it a mine.
Wait a
they
sec,
love to
guys.
build dams too, right? Have you ever noticed that? They love dams.
I noticed Humble wants to jump in too. Humble.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask Steve. Steve, do you ever listen to guys like Kent Hovind?
Yeah, I'm not real big on Kent Hovind, but go ahead.
Yeah, but for a lot of years, right? He was. I know he's totally against flat Earth. I'm just saying that there's a whole group of men identifying as Christians, Bible believers, who've done what they call a lot of work. Like I don't know the gentleman who was there before, talking before, but when he talks about this how did you phrase it about the land shifting, the theory behind it,
The hydroplate
like
theory.
hydroplane theory? You should listen to these guys, man. Like, I'm not saying you have to believe them or you have to, because a lot of them are not flat earthers. And I don't
Can
know,
you hear
but
us?
I used to feed on those things and
I guess they
listen.
can't hear
But
us in there,
it's
right?
not that they haven't.
Can
I
you
couldn't
hear us?
say they haven't done it. They've just.
Yes.
Oh, they can hear us.
We can now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't know that we're doing some technical work here. I just heard something that was pretty funny. You said hydroplane theory?
Plates.
You got a theory on hydroplaning? It's
Was it planning?
hydroplate.
Plate. No. Plate. Plate. So the plate would be the continent.
I got a theory about hydroplaning.
Uh,
So I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm a worm.
We all are.
Yeah. Nathan.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, we got Ballbuster Saturday. I don't know what we're doing, but we still got it. Just want to let you know. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ballbusters? Yeah.
Do we have Ballbusters? Did I do Ballbusters last Saturday?
I don't know.
No, you
Okay.
didn't.
All right. So we got Ballbusters this Saturday. I don't know what we're doing. Gentlemen in Discord, sorry. Like I said, I didn't know that you could hear us in here because Nathan's doing some tests. But I got to roll on out. Are you good, Nathan? Because Arwen's in here.
Yep.
Oh, I can hear
Not
you.
those giant metal balls. I mean, why wouldn't you do a show about that?
Yes, we're good, QE.
Okay. I'll try to catch you tomorrow. All right. Out. Later, guys. Go ahead, Discord.
Later. See you tomorrow.
All right, later. All right, Humble. Let's try your connection again. It seems like you were roboting last time, just as he jumped in. Humble.
Oh, okay. No,
Okay.
I'm just saying that there are a bunch of guys out there who've been doing a lot of work over the decades to support the Bible and the Genesis account and the flood account and everything. And they will take these theories that the geologists have and they will frame it in with the flood as the explanation for these things that have happened. So I'm just saying that, you know, for years I found it very interesting. I haven't gone back since Flat Earth to analyze it from that standpoint, but they were doing some yeoman's work. I mean, they were doing some research that they brought to bear. And even, like I said, Kent Hovind, for years he was producing stuff to help school kids, you know, get past these scientific geologist theories that, if you know what I'm saying, that would deny what the Bible says. So I'm just saying it's out there. There's a lot of stuff out there. What you believe, what you don't believe, people make choices, right?
All right. Well, yeah, you got something you want to respond to with it?
Another resource is Genesis History. It's on YouTube, and they kind of are like hydroplate background people, but they're actually out there looking at the stuff, chipping rocks off, and showing you things. Another kind of like a viewpoint that I like to watch these guys. They're pretty squared away. By the way,
Well,
I just want to tell. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say a lot of those guys are the ones that told you they fell from the sky too. So you got to be careful on geology. My God.
Yeah, but I mean, they find soft tissue in dinosaur bones, so you know, it kind of like
That's pretty
squashes some
shaky.
theory.
That's pretty shaky, bro. You have no
Actually, so I mean,
evidence.
I can
No
actually
evidence.
look at it.
No.
I'm watching it. It's like right there. I'm actually looking at it on the screen.
Yeah, on
They-
TV, bro.
Steve, calm down. We know some of this stuff, but let's.
My bad.
No, like I
Well,
understand what you want to understand.
they tell us these things, righteous, and he's acting like it's true. I don't have
Right,
a
but
problem with him telling us this stuff, mentioning that hey, this is what we're looking at, but
Oh.
absolutely zero evidence of what he's saying.
all right.
Well,
Well, then just
what could I
well,
offer you as evidence?
Steve, then you can just ask him certain questions that can lead him towards that direction instead of just shutting it down just like that.
I'm not trying to. I'm not. Like I say, I'm listening to him, enjoying him. But I mean, I think you're overstretching sometimes when you like that claim. You made a claim, soft tissue. Now,
That's right. I mean, it's not a false claim. That's actually like people really do that stuff, and they open it up, and it's soft tissue. It's just that the people who say it's not soft tissue don't want to change their stance. You see, so it's all about perspective, anyways. And so it doesn't really matter. It's like, why do you believe everything you believe, and why isn't everybody like you?
right, right. But I'm saying is that the past, right? We're talking about the past. So you don't know anything about, just like me, I don't know anything about the past. That's just a fact.
You
That's
not
not
play
a
in the
lie.
mud? Did you grow up in the
I'm
city? Because
guaranteed.
like I
No,
played in the
wait a
mud.
minute.
I can
Wait a
look
minute.
right there and tell you that stuff. If I played with my Play-Doh and I did compression, it would look just like that.
Wait a minute. Here's the thing, right? When you bring up the flood, that's a guarantee. Now anybody can
It's
look up.
layered.
No. Listen. A man can look up the information that they have given us
The
throughout the
gold is at the
internet
bottom.
here. No, listen.
It's just heavier.
There was a flood. I'm not going to argue that point one bit.
Yes. Okay.
See, but now what we're talking about is the actual facts, how the flood happened, right? Because it tells us in the
Oh,
Bible. I'm not arguing on the flood, not one bit. It's a guarantee. The earth got wiped out and it got flooded. Yes, sir. And buried water, this ocean rose. That's a fact. I don't think anybody denies that. That's a
do you want me to
geology.
tell you? Do you want me to tell you what happened?
You see the thing? All right. Well, go on.
Well, I mean, so I actually am you know what? I just want to say one thing right off the bat. I think that Nathan is probably one of the funniest people I've ever seen in my life. And I have woke up with my wife many times. She's not around right anymore, but I just want to let you know, like, I think you're freaking hilarious. On to my hydroplate theory, which I believe
Thanks.
is to be true because every time I look at it and I look at the Earth and I drove around. I mean, I drive around like all over the place, like, you know what I mean? And so then I've been in planes and I do flight simulator, and Microsoft is very accurate on the ground, you know, because I've been to these places, even though there's too many trees, right? But for the most part, the ground is fairly accurate. And so when you fly around to all these places all over the world, all the little details, all the way down to the ground, flying in the Grand Canyon, flying over the Grand Canyon, flying to Antarctica, like I've been to all these places. It looks just like those places. I believe it.
Right.
I believe those maps are accurate. And if I'm as a military person, those people relied on me to come back with accurate information so that they can end somebody else's life based on what I wrote down. So do you think I
Right.
want to be wrong there?
Well, I mean, no, what you're saying, you just made a true statement, but then you want to go over to something that you can't verify. I'm just saying that you have no factual evidence of what you're
Then why do I
presenting.
believe it?
Hold on.
Well,
Can I
because a
ask something?
belief is see, one of the first things that happened out here with me and God was He told me to throw my belief system out the window. Now I don't
For
know if
you.
you did that. I don't know if you did that or not, because
He
see,
didn't
that's
tell
the
me to
big
do that.
wake up call. Well, the big wake up call is you live in a world ran by the devil. Now I got no problem talking as much physical facts like you're saying. The flood is the real thing. The mud floods, that's been exposed, right?
See,
These
What?
different, yeah. And now all that you're saying is you're just seeming like you know this, and I don't have a problem with it. But you still haven't shown me any type of because I already know the geology, what they tell us about oil, everything they tell us about the ground is a lie. So if you're referring to geologists
What are
as
you
any
talking
type of
about?
reference, you're going to have to back it up, just like the
I know,
flat
but
Earth.
you're the only one complaining.
I'm not complaining. Yeah, well,
Well, yeah, I
yeah,
know, but you
because a
also
lot of
have asked
people,
no question.
yeah, they like the bullshit. And one thing about flat earthers, they love bullshitting. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's not
Yeah,
swear,
there's
guys.
no evidence for
Hey,
mud
A,
flood
you're
worldwide,
not a flat
okay?
earther?
Yeah, he
He's
is.
not a flat earther? Oh, okay.
a quick question.
Oh,
Go
Oh,
humble.
sorry. Is I'm sorry. I'm going to call you Hydroplate for now because I didn't get your name. Or what's your name?
uh, you can call me Nathan. Well, no, there's already Nathan.
Nathan?
You can call me Ya.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you are a Bible believer.
As long as it's proven.
Okay. No, I mean, but generally speaking, you would identify as a Bible believing person.
I would, yes.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of stuff. Everybody's proofs have come at different levels of information. So, okay, but generally speaking, you're a Bible believer. Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Oh, that made me feel great.
That it, humble? I thought you were gonna carry us in the next
Oh no,
Context.
episode.
I just like to know who I'm listening to and where they're coming from and things, right?
Oh,
Because
true. See,
yeah,
I know, but it's like
no,
when you say Bible believer, right? You know what I mean? Like you could group me in with a whole bunch of people that I don't want to be grouped in with. You know what I mean? It's kind
and
of
that's
scary
what
when
I
you say that.
and that's what I'm learning as I listen to you. That's the learning process for me. But that
Oh,
one,
okay,
I
okay, I
just
get it.
wanted to know which perspective you were coming from, because
Oh, I get it.
uh, yeah, because this again, this is the thing that fascinates me being around. That's why I turn on stuff and just listen to, because it, it, it's intriguing to me how the same sort of information can hit different people and just produce totally different worldviews even. And it's the same information, right? It's the same. We're all looking at the same information, right? And so I think what I like about Steve is because he he has been he's come to where he is over a long time, and being exposed to different things. I have a little catching up to do with Steve, because he's helping me to navigate this platform that we're on. But I have some pretty solid beliefs that have just been like wrecked. I had some pretty solid beliefs that just been wrecked over the last few years, right? So I try to just be humble, listen, and at the end of the day, we're all responsible for what we choose to believe and defend, and maybe even teach other people or talk to them about, right?
Yeah, exactly. And as long as everybody's patient with everybody and everybody realizes that there's 360 degrees, right? And so everybody has room to have their own perspective and learn from other people, it all goes fairly well.
Oh yeah, it's yeah. I just like to put it under like respect. Yeah, yeah. We can differ on stuff, and well, I don't think we have much of a choice because we're dealing with all adults here. They will believe or feel or think whatever they like, whether you like it or not, right?
What's cool? I mean, I don't know anything about agate really. I mean, I kind of do, but not really. I found this agate the other day, like a big old chunk of it, like a big chunk, like maybe like 10, 15 pounds. And it's round and it has all these little marks in it. And then when you start looking at all the marks in the agate, it's actually little, like whenever it exploded out of wherever it came from, it was flying around. And then when it hit the ground, like a clay chunk of whatever it is, this brown agate, it hit sticks. And so there's like marks from sticks and like rocks hitting it and little flicks, where things are flying by, or like super fast. And then there's this place where the stick actually goes in, and you can see how it hit the ground. The stick went into the rock, which was clay at the time, and then it turned, and you can see how the stick turned in the rock, and then the rock kept going, and it must have been like stick was broke off on the ground, and so it went in. You know how it would go in, and then it would flip over. Like if you did it with clay, it looks exactly like that. And so I know that whenever this rock was formed that I found in the creek right over here. Near the mountains, whenever it was formed, there were sticks on the ground, and I don't know how old this rock is supposed to be, but whenever it was formed and it came out of the volcano and hit the ground right there was sticks on the ground because it's stuck in the rock. I haven't really looked into seeing if that works out like in their world, geology world, but it's a cool
Well,
rock
do
to
you
find.
remember? Sorry, do you remember Mount St. Helens, right?
Yeah, I heard it go off, man. I was sitting here. Well, I was up this, at my other house. And then, because back in the day, they would always detonate dynamite because they were blowing off the tops of trees because they were doing high lead logging, right? And so they would just blow off the tops of trees instead of have a tower. And so they would be always doing that, right? But this one was different. It was just like boom, and like you could just feel it boom, and it came from the north, right? And instead of like from the east or the west or south where the mountains would be, right? And so my mom's like, that was weird. And then I remember looking out the window and it was sun shining, blue sky and everything. And then she's like, it was a volcano. And then the ash started coming down on the cars and it was all built up. And so went out there and got our jars and filled our jars full of volcanic ash. And then I played with my little cars in the ash. Yeah. Oh, anyways, go ahead with your story.
That's insane. That you were that wow. Okay. But the reason I was pointing it out is because when they looked at uh, what took place after that incident happened, it changed a lot of minds about how long it takes for certain geographical formations to take form.
Oh, like petrified wood and things. Yeah.
Yeah, and just yeah, that one incident, and within things that they thought took millenniums or millions of years.
Yeah. Are you still there?
To, please, you have to understand Steve and his skepticism. Uh, And you'll get to know him if you hang around for him for a little bit.
I'm used to skeptics. I think I was one at one time.
Okay. Good for you. Yeah, it's good to be.
Yeah, you got to prove everything, man. You can't just like believe things. It took a lot of proof for God to prove anything to me. You know what I mean? I don't just change. I'm a Taurus. I don't move. I don't move for nobody. If you ain't proving something to me, I ain't believing it. Especially if my life depends on it or my soul or something. You know what I mean?
Well, then you and
Yeah,
Steve should get along famously.
exactly.
Yeah.
We get along good. I like the guy. I think he's a really good guy. I'm sorry I came across wrong. I'm just that even on here, like, well, especially on Nathan, they're strict is all. And so I hear what you're saying. I'm a firm believer in, like I say, the flood is a real thing, whether it has nothing to do with the Bible. You don't even have to mention God on that particular incident. So there's certain
It
things
helps.
that mean, but yeah. I'm a firm believer in God. But here's the thing. Like I said earlier, the control is a real thing. The knowledge you've received, whatever you want to do with it, I don't care. But I just know what God told me when they didn't land on the moon, and He told me I was full of shit. And so from that point forward, it was no big deal. I just got my books out and studied. It's not hard to do. I can read mechanical drawings and that type of thing. I'm real that type, real physical.
Right away.
I don't think the Lord would say you're full of the S word. Okay, so let's drop that
Well, how
word.
do you know? How do you know? I
Let's
mean,
just drop.
we're talking about God's word. That's all
Let's just.
spiritually read. See,
Hey,
yeah, there's a lot.
that's a hint. That's
I'm
a
all familiar
Steve.
with, but I don't know if God called it that or
Wait a
not. See,
second, Steve. That's a
you're
hint.
right. You're right. I
That's
try
a
to watch my language. Sorry.
exactly. That was a hint to let's watch our mouths, please.
I'm sorry for making me laugh here. Go on mute.
What were we talking about?
No, you guys were talking about.
Proof.
Well, we were talking about like. I
Oh
was
wait,
curious. Go on.
I
I
say something.
I really
I
appreciate the
was gonna
Mount
say
Etna
like.
story. I've got to be honest.
What's that?
So again, Nate.
I thought the Mount Etna story was amazing.
Atmos story?
At the volcano that went off.
Oh, okay.
St. Helens.
Oh, yeah, I got in trouble for that too. Because then my dad got home and he's like, "You were doing what?" And so he goes over there and there's all little Hot Wheels scratches all over the car because of the ashes rocks. I didn't think about that one.
Still, great story.
Thanks. I have a lot of stories. Been around. I'm like sixth generation, like pioneer people, right? So I've been around here a while.
Good stuff.
So I see you're back, Nathan.
Yeah, I'm just testing the computer. I figured out what had gone wrong. Now I need to figure out why it went wrong.
All right. Everybody bailed on the on Google Meet.
I asked a couple of them to come back just to figure out how to get the sound back, and then they were in there. Well, they were in there for a period while I was trying to figure it out, and once I'd figured it out, or thought I had, you try the next thing, everyone had vanished. So I had to do a little call to action in Skype and say, can you come back in the Hangout so I can check I actually hear you? They came back in and they could. So I'd figured out what the problem was. Like, great, okay, so my Windows 11 sound controller has muted all of the output lines for Realtek Digital and Cable A, Cable B, Voice Meter, aux, Voice Meter. You're like, why? Why? It's always something. So obviously I unmuted all those lines and then it would work. But in the interim period, I'd gone in and out of each Hangout, in and out of Discord. And I couldn't hear anything. I'm like, well, I obviously can't function this way. So at some point I ended the show. I just ended it. But there we go. Anyway, now I'm figuring out why that happened. If I can replicate it, which so far I haven't been able to, which isn't good.
All right.
Anyway,
Well, let's not get on the too much PC talk. People might blame me for
that's the only reason I'm
starting
here.
this
I'm just here
conversation.
testing. So if you're wondering why I'm in the
All
hangout,
right.
I'm here testing. So you don't have to
All
talk
right, so
to me.
just testing.
You have to like
All right,
respect
so
me
no
either.
recording?
Just you can be horrible about me, and I probably wouldn't even reply.
Yeah. Are you recording though?
It's going out to about 10 people in the members only live stream. So I am actually streaming to make sure I'm stressing the computer in the same way it did when it crashed, or crashed, so
I
to
gotcha.
speak.
Well, we got the guy left. We had this new guy, yeah, and he was keeping us going pretty good. It's nice when a new guy joins and he shares where he's at. But yeah.
That was too bad Mighty Mush wasn't here this morning, though, for the North Star.
I think he heard the conversation on YouTube because he's asking to get in touch with Brian first before talks about it with him on the air. So he asked me for his name on Discord. So he might have heard it. So he might talk about it yet still.
Yeah, he'll talk about it. He heard about it for sure. No, he just didn't happen to be here this morning. He's usually here.
Yeah. Well,
Who?
is that Armin?
Yeah.
What is the claim? What is the claim anyway? Does it move or is it? It's pretty stationary. I'm pretty sure it moves a little bit, but whatever, right? Or what's
What?
the claim? Or
Well, hold
I
on.
don't.
First of all, I'll address Armin. We're talking about Mighty Mush. He's the one that captured that Star Trail images that I posted in Skype. And then to answer Steve, well, according to what Rayleigh said, and he's very proficient with cameras and the Rayleigh criterion and all that stuff. He says there's things in cameras that, like, it could be software or whatnot that can get it to shift a little bit. So then
Right.
I asked him, is like, if you had all that down pat, does it still shift? And he said it does still, but I don't know what he based that on. I haven't talked to him
Well,
about why that is.
these modern cameras are all digital,
Well,
right?
the
So
question.
they are going to be processing the image, whatever it's getting,
Yeah.
and how it's going to do that all depends on the person using the camera if they understand how the camera works. So, but digital cameras all have things they do with the received light-based information. So,
Armin is correct. Like sometimes they'll even what does it call it?
But the question.
They'll digitally fix some things too, like some cameras, right?
yes,
Yeah.
there's focus shift, automated
question.
program, all kinds of things.
But the question is, I'm just asking. Their science tells us North Star is non-moving, or what do they say?
Good question. I think Brian said they say it does move, and Brian's like, no, it doesn't. And then Mighty Mush says, oh, I captured this with a digital camera, and look, it shows it moves. And then I took it to Rayleigh, and Rayleigh is like, yeah, well, you can't trust digital cameras, but he still said it does actually still move a little bit. But I don't know how he supports that claim. He's on deafen at the moment.
Well, I've heard that
But
before, even from ballers, that it does shift microscopic amounts. So it's not
Yeah, it almost
actually
happens.
absolutely perfectly still, but it is the stillest of all the stars in the sky.
right, and Brian's
Right.
reply seemed to be, well, if it's in the atmosphere, you know, that could possibly be a cause for it. And then Nathan said, "Oh, the lunar waves." I'm like, I guess he kind of said it as a
No,
joke, but he also kind of supports what Brian is saying, right? Sometimes we see like a wave effect looking at the moon, right?
Right.
no,
But
but
it
the
can't move.
sky
It can't move enough to.
cannot, the sky cannot be proved to have any influence on the celestials, right? The only typical deviation that could be attributed, but I mean it not with certainty, but there's something there, is the celestial refraction. When the stars get closer to the horizon, suddenly the angular speed changes of the rotation, the apparent rotation. And that's it. That's the only alteration in their general pathway they have, right? So any other speculation about what the atmosphere is doing, it's pointless.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and that's
crazy.
Mick West captured that footage of as a star comes close to the horizon, it like seems to deviate or slow down. Sleeping Warrior pointed out that video with Mick West. It might be on this
Right.
channel
Well,
still.
yeah, but it doesn't really slow down. There's just a sudden shift in angular speed. So yeah, it does slow down, but it doesn't comport with like a slowdown, an actual slowdown associated with physics, where you have a speed, then the speed decreases and it gradually slows down. That doesn't happen. It's just suddenly, click, it's a different angular speed slightly. But that angular speed then stays consistency for as long as it remains within sight. So it's not because of moving into the distance.
Okay.
Because if it was moving into the distance, well, then there should be an asymptotal movement. The angular
The angle would
speed
change.
is continually slowing down as it approaches the horizon, increasingly.
I'm seeing what Arwen is saying. Because, yeah, like if you go according to perspective, like let's say a car driving into the distance, the closer it gets to the dot, the vanishing point, the slower it appears to go, even though it's going the same speed. So he's applying this to the stars. I never thought about it like that. I'm like, oh wow. And you're saying, Arwen, it doesn't? It doesn't appear to slow down as it's going into the vanishing point, unless
Yeah,
like the
no,
atmosphere or
it's
something.
just one singular shift that happens. And then from that shifting point on, which is close to the horizon, the angular speed in the new slowed down speed remains consistent. So it doesn't
Consistent.
continually slow down as it approaches the horizon.
That is interesting. That never thought about it,
It
but
is
yeah,
one of my earlier arguments too for
Sure.
reification, right? The ballers, the discers say, no,
That's
it
a damn
is
good
going
one.
into the horizon. Like, no,
That's
it
a
isn't
damn good
going
one
into
right
the
there.
horizon. Hello?
Yeah, that's a damn good point right there, Arwen.
yeah, it's interesting. Thank you for pointing it, bringing it to our attention, Armin.
Yeah, you're welcome. I picked up on this in 2016, even back
Right.
before
It's yours.
Flat Debates.
You claimed it.
Yeah, when
You
everybody
can-
was like, "What are you talking about? Are you a baller or something?" It's like, no, it's just
This talk is
wrong.
all normal. Yeah, just exactly what your eyeballs are doing. Yeah.
It's just being
This makes
honest
it like
about the actual information that you can measure, right? And not just
Right.
trying to make things fit a argument in the moment.
A spin ball.
or a model, any model. Like
Yeah.
even on our side, there's models, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes people
Or
let models
bullshit.
do the information they're looking at.
Right, because look, let me just put down a typical sketch, right, of an anti-flat earther versus a disc earther, like let's say David Weiss. It's going to be straw man versus straw man, because the baller anti-flat earther is going to say, how is the sun reaching you when it's hovering over a disc? And then the David Weiss earther or disc earther will argue, yeah, but it's because it's out of perspective, it's too far away, right? Both arguments are wrong, because it's not, you can't prove that it is actually in a position anywhere, so it's not too far away, right? And the other one is simply, yeah. So they're both like assuming a straw man situation about the earth, about the flat earth approach, that the sun is, so that it can be subjected to perspective. that it can move into the distance. And then one asks the question, why is that? Why can't we see it? And the other one is like, yeah, because of perspective, which technically doesn't apply because it has no actual position that can be proven. And so it keeps stuck in this back and forth straw man. And that's something, those are the type of scenarios that never find a resolution, that are like almost political. Like the bickering will never end because both are wrong. See? Unless you completely snap out of it and do what I do.
What's that?
Well, state that the Celestials are basically like holograms, and they don't have actual positions. They only have an apparent angular position in relation to the observer, and their influences are unique for each observer. So
Exactly.
completely disregard them as being actual objects, but more like unique
Right.
visual spectacles for each observer.
Yeah, I like that.
Because that way you can't be fooled into any model.
That's right. Very interesting, Arwin.
Thank you.
That's my line.
How's it working out, Nathan?
Yeah, it seems fine. I'm just stress testing it at the moment.
Okay.
By stress testing it, I mean I'm playing a game to make the computer work as hard as it can.
Well, we got Mighty Mush in here. Mighty Mush, you there?
Yo, what's up, brother? Yes, I am. Honestly, I'm just kind of hanging. I wrote a Brian a message, private message. So I just wanted to hang out a little bit, wait for his response. But if he's not around, I guess we can touch the subject again.
But you did
I
watch it
couldn't.
live on YouTube.
Oh, what's that?
So you did hear it on YouTube.
Yeah, I heard the show this morning, but I couldn't join the Discord. I had a room full of people, and I just couldn't talk, man. But
All right, well,
I kind of
nobody's
couldn't
talking.
believe, honestly, the way Brian reacted and the way everybody reacted. Respect to Nathan. He halted the whole conversation saying, let's wait to see what the claim is first. So thanks for that, Nathan. Guys, all I can say is I'm not claiming anything. All I can do is show you the footage that I got. Not once or twice.
Fair
I've
enough.
gotten this footage many times. Polaris moves. If Polaris is the most centered sky in the sky, around which all the stars rotate, then Polaris moves. And I'll post the video footage again. Righteous, you didn't post the right footage this morning. That wasn't the.
I found that eventually. I don't know if you're around for
Okay.
that.
Yeah, you did,
What's
but
the
that's not
point?
the one that zoomed. Hold on one second.
It was one that zoomed. Okay.
Right, but
So
Polaris moves, so what?
nothing, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was so blown. Like, what the fuck? Like, so what? Who?
That's
Like,
right.
how's this even a big issue? It doesn't change anything.
Okay.
That's why I was surprised that Brian reacted that way. Here,
Brian's not
it's
here
in
at the
Discord in
moment,
the main text chat.
but I also blame Brian.
No, I don't blame him for anything. I just couldn't, like, why was he so heated and, like, you know, show me the footage. Polaris doesn't move. Like, bro, like, how haven't you seen this? I don't know. Now, here's the footage that Polaris does move. Can somebody show me footage of Polaris not moving? Show me the star trails with the center of the sky zoomed in, and show me stationary Polaris not moving. I want to see it. All these people that claim something's wrong with the camera. I heard somebody this morning, I think it was Riley, claiming, oh, is something wrong with the camera? Okay, that's a claim. Prove there's something wrong with the camera, and the camera's making shit up. Because I know there's people calling themselves star debunkers, like Ron Hogberg and some of these. They have whole channels dedicated for debunking stars. Come on, guys. We all know what out of focus is. Everybody knows that. Nobody's an idiot here. When the star is out of focus, that's clear out of focus. That's retarded. But when it's not, when you see a twinkling that you've never seen before in your life, and you're going to hand wave dismiss it just because you haven't seen it before through your telescope or through your camera, that's a hand wave dismissal. That's bullshit. And I don't care. Believe it or don't believe it, I don't care, man. The footage is out there. I'm asking to people who are hand wave dismissing this. Have you seen every single star in the night sky through a telescope or through a camera? If you haven't, how can you say, get out of here, that's not a footage? And also, if anybody can recreate the twinkling of the stars with any other earthly light phenomena, I want to see it. In other words, point your camera to something on Earth, some source of light, and show me that effect. Show me how cameras are making that shit up. People just talking shit, man. They're upset because they don't have a good footage.
So much.
Was that righteous?
Let's not swear so much. Nathan is he has this recording too, eh?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm
I mean,
sorry.
we're going out to about 5 or
sorry.
10 people.
Was that?
I've got a members only broadcast just so I can test the computer in circumstances where it's actually broadcasting. So if I'm going to fiddle with it and it's going to crash, no offense to the members, but you know, I just want it to be a limited audience. So it is a limited audience.
Yeah. Did I use any foul language? I don't remember.
A little bit, but that's fine.
Maybe.
You're passionate about it. It's all good.
Okay.
If you're passionate like that and Brian is passionate, this is gonna be an interesting show tomorrow.
Well, I'm not passionate about anything, dude. I'm not making any claims. All I'm telling you is like, this is my footage. This is what it shows. And all I'm saying is this. Okay, this is my claim. If the Polaris is the star that's in the center of the sky, the bright one, then it moves. That's my claim. Because this is not the one time I got the footage of this. I got years of footage of this, bro. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of footage that went gone with my old computer. But I'm getting out there again. I'm doing a night sky footage, and it's every time I zoom into Polaris, and if it's a time lapse, 2.5 hours, it shows that it moves. The only thing that's bugging my mind, it doesn't move in a circle like all of the stars. It almost kind of moves sideways. So right, just like I told you last time, what I have to do right now is I have to get a third battery, because the shitty thing about these batteries and these P1000 camera is like you can only charge it when the battery's in the camera. So if you don't have extra cameras to keep putting them one after another, you're screwed. And I only have 2. So what I have to do now is like put a new camera into the footage after it's done to see what Polaris does after it goes sideways. Because in this footage, it clearly goes, it doesn't go in a circle. I don't know if you guys are able to see the footage that I put in the main text chat. This is the center of the sky. This is Polaris. Polaris moves. Now, what I don't know is how it changes the argument. It doesn't. It doesn't do anything with celestial navigation. Everything stays the same. With bare naked eye, you cannot notice this movement. It has to be a time lapse.
All right, and that last image you post, where is Polaris? Is that white dot in the middle that's making a circle Polaris?
It doesn't look like it's making a circle to me. Like the last, I just posted at 12:26 in the main text chat.
Where is Polaris in this video, on this image though?
It should be the center one. It should be the one that's in the middle, around which all the stars are rotating.
Yeah, but I don't see it in this video. I seen it.
What do you mean you don't see it, bro? Is everybody looking at the same freaking thing that I just posted, dude? Like it's 12:26, man. It's Star Trails.
I'm playing it from directly from your post.
And what happens?
I just see. I see stars going in circles, but I don't see anything in the center of that. Where the
So
stars
whatever's centered, whatever's the most centered star right there is, that's Polaris, bro. Here, I'll post you another photo.
Okay.
Just 1 second. I just don't know why people get so upset with this and like, you know, if they haven't seen something, oh, it can't be that. Oh, it can't be that. That star is too amazing, does all these wild things. Like, oh, that can't be that. Why? Oh, because I haven't seen it through my telescope. Oh, really? That's how it works, right? Now cameras making shit up. Now they're the ones that are making shit up. Cameras making shit up. Okay, prove that camera is making shit up. Oh, I don't know how. It just does something. Oh, really? So why don't you recreate that same effect with something on Earth here? Point it to the light, any source of light on Earth, and let's see if the camera is going to make that shit up.
All right. Well, we'll wait for the image.
Well,
and then we'll see which one.
that's why I asked earlier, Mush, what mainstream tells us, because they got the goods to look at it, and I just don't even know. Do they tell us it moves a little bit, or I know I mean, they tell us it flip poles BS there, but I'm just
Well,
asking.
by their model, we shouldn't even see Polaris on any of the same stars that we are under every night. The globe is flying through infinite vacuum at 66.6 thousand miles an hour. All the stars that we were seeing yesterday should have been way behind us. We would never see them again, let alone being in the same freaking position night after night. So nothing to do with this. We all know globe is garbage and
Yeah,
nothing to do with
I
it.
know that. I'm just trying to get it in my head exactly what you are saying, because I don't. I mean, to me, I guarantee you the North Star is moving a little bit. Now, my only question is how much it's moving. But no, I'm not disagreeing with you one bit. I mean, you can't have it. I'm pretty sure it moves. I just don't know
Yeah,
how
man.
much.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, bro. All these questions, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about stars, man. What are stars? Like, who put them there? I don't know anything, bro. But when people have them do it dismissed just because they haven't seen it before, oh, I haven't seen this star before, it can't be that. Come on, man. Just because you didn't catch it with your camera and with your telescope. I'm asking these people, did you see every single star in the night sky through your telescope or camera? No,
Well,
you haven't. Okay.
well, well,
End of
something
story.
has. Hold on a second. Well, something has Brian very persuaded. So once we talk to him more, we can probably find out what
Yeah,
persuaded him
well,
so much.
that's exactly the reason why I wanted to talk him privately out of respect, because over the years I've learned so much from Brian, and I don't want to start shitting. I'm not shitting on Brian or anything. This is just me going from what I heard this morning. Brian is one of the smartest dudes here, man. Like, I learned from Brian so much, dude. Especially in the last presentation about the sun and the latitudes, and I love Brian, dude. It was surprising this morning to hear him react like that.
Oh, okay. So that's why you're so passionate. It's like
I don't
it's like
like my passion. I don't know if I'm passionate, bro. Like, it's just that's the way I talk. You know me, bro. I've been here like a long time, man. We
right,
talk
but
every day.
you're a little extra passionate this time. All right, I'll post this image in Skype too. Let me. So,
Okay, you see the last photo?
give me a sec.
Okay, so the last one is the photograph, the snapshot
Yep.
of the time lapse.
Yep.
At the end. So you can also see the one in the center. You can see how it moved.
I mean that thing that's the brightest in the center or near the center.
They're all just as bright, pretty much, but the one that's in the center, yes, yeah.
That's a big deviation.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go on.
Mighty Mush, the star that you are put it on, that's not the Polaris. The bright one that you see going sideways, that's not Polaris.
How do you know that?
So, because I do the star trails as well,
Okay,
and
show
the
it.
Polaris.
Show it.
I don't have it on my phone. It's on my laptop, and I don't have
Show it.
Discord on my laptop. I have to download it on my phone, so I can do it. So it will take some time, but I can.
Okay, so you're telling
I
me
can show you.
you're telling me that we can't see Polaris, right? Then how do people see it
No,
on the boats, and how do we do celestial navigation?
no, I can see Polaris, but the one that you put it on, that's not. You see the bright one that you're saying,
They're all just
the
as bright.
Polaris is moving
Most of
sideways.
them are just as bright. I don't know what you're talking about, the bright one.
The photo that you shared, the last one,
Yeah, the last
the
one.
photo that you shared.
Okay, hold on a sec. Let's just for clarity's sake, I took like a crop of it. Is that it? That thing in the center of that crop?
That's what he's saying. Yeah,
What? I can't see
he's
this.
saying that's Polaris, right?
Well, wait a second. Let me hear from Mighty. Mighty, is that Polaris in that crop over there?
Yeah, I don't know what this crop is. When I click it, it comes out even smaller than what it is right now. So it might be something with the format. But,
No, it is just that because I cut it. I
okay.
took your image and I cut it. I went in right at the center of the brightest thing.
So this was what I said in the beginning, dude. If this is Polaris, the most centered star in the sky around which all of the stars rotate, then Polaris moves. If it's not, that means it's invisible.
All right.
But then, how can Polaris be invisible if we use it for celestial navigation, dude? If we have to see it with bare naked eyes, not with camera. This is with camera zoomed in. So you're telling me, like, I can see something with bare naked eye that I can't see on a camera? Migwig, my friend?
All right, Mighty, hold on. Let me go to Migwig.
I
So
will
what were
try
you saying?
to download it and
Wait a sec. Let me give you the question. So what are you saying is Polaris in this image that he posted?
You're asking me?
No, not you,
Oh,
Migwig,
okay.
because I heard it from you. Now I want to
that's
hear it from
it.
him.
Gotcha.
You can't see it?
No, but I can show you. But let me download it on my phone and I share it my footages because I can see Polaris that goes round, not sideways like this.
All right, but why
So
can't we
wait,
see it in this image?
wait a second. Now you're saying Polaris goes around?
It goes like a very small circle, not like sideways like this that you have it.
So you just said it doesn't move. You said it 10 minutes ago, bro.
I didn't say that doesn't move.
Oh my gosh, man.
It was not me who said that. I just
Polaris
started
doesn't move.
talking.
You might have mistaken him for Brian. That's all right.
It's
If
okay.
Yeah, because
if
I didn't say.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't.
I agree with you that it moves.
Oh, okay. All right. So why are you saying this is not Polaris?
Okay, I will try to just download now my footage and I show it to you.
Okay.
So because I did the few of them, so I just want to go mute for a moment and then.
Sure. Looking forward to it, bro.
and Nigo is
Yeah, I mean,
FE, guys. So let's relax. He's on our side.
yeah, I'm relaxed. No worries.
All right. So I mean, if it does move, that's pretty good information to know, then, right?
I think so. I just don't see how it changes anything. And that's literally the reason why I was like, yo, what's going on here, man? Why are people flipping out? Like, almost like, yeah, I didn't get
I don't
it.
know why they flip out.
But I'm happy, Marsh, you gave me an idea. I will try it tonight.
Yeah, man.
I hope the weather is good because I have 3 batteries with the P1000, so I will do 3 consecutive strike trails, one after the other one. So let's see, and
Yeah,
then if I can
I'll try to
put
do it
together.
too. I have 2 batteries. I'm going to do it with 2 tonight. So let's see what we come up with.
Yeah, okay.
But I just don't see how can you say we can't see Polaris here when Polaris must be visible for the sailors to use it?
Yeah, of course, I can see it with my naked eye. I mean,
That's what I mean. So if the Polaris in the center of the sky around all these stars, then that must be Polaris, what we're seeing right there.
I don't
And if
know.
that's Polaris, then it shows that it moves.
It's
So
not exactly in the middle.
what you're saying is like what you're saying that in this footage right here, it's moving. It's not moving in a perfect circle, and that's why you're saying it's not Polaris.
No. I just want to share my footage, and then we'll see.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I don't know. I mean, let's share it, and we'll see what's happening.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a footage of this is Jupiter with the same camera. Also, Jupiter has these 4 what they call Jupiter's moons, which is nothing but 4 tiny little stars, and they change their relative position after each night. So for the rest of the night, Jupiter is gonna stay in this, like the 4 little stars are gonna stay in the same relative position until the rest of the night. The next night, the 4 little stars around Jupiter are gonna change their locations. And they're going to have different relative positions, and they're going to remain like that for the rest of the night.
They do change the lights at night as well. Like if you do it like after 4 hours, you can see that they are moving. I saw one of them came behind or from the front. It was not visible. After 4 hours, I took another shot and it was visible. Yeah, because Nathan one time asked for it and he said, "Oh, I never saw that if it changes during the night." So I did a few of them and. But I have it now all in my computer.
Like I think it was more than 5 hours of difference, and they were in the same position. So I'm gonna have to do that again too. Now that you said that.
Yeah, the one I got it. It was very it looks like it was front of Jupiter or behind Jupiter. I don't know.
Mhm.
And then after 4 hours, I could see it coming out. I could see like the very small movement that is coming out of. So that was the thing, and I was going to
But you
show
know
it.
what?
That I want to do like a small file and show it to Nathan because he was asking for it.
Well, you know what's the best way to do that? To do the Jupiter just on time lapse, because time lapse will show the deviation. It will show if the stars change. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But
but
because if
you
it
see,
doesn't, it's going to be perfectly predetermined trails
it moves
that are
too
over.
fast.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It moves too fast. Jupiter moves too fast. You have to move your camera with it. Because when you zoom in, you can see it. You see it. It moves too fast.
Oh yeah, you don't have to zoom in too much. You know, you put the focal length just enough so you make sure that the Jupiter is going to stay in frame the whole time, but it will still show the lines crossing over if that's the case. If not, the lines are going to be perfectly next to each other and they're going to be uniform and there's going to be no deviation. So that's going to be easy to test. Actually, I'm going to do that tonight and you do Polaris and we'll see tomorrow
Okay.
what happens.
Okay, deal.
What's if you don't mind, like, what's your accent from?
I was born in Lebanon, but I'm original Armenian,
Okay.
like 10th man.
All right. Cool. Thanks, man.
No worries.
You've been here before, right?
Oh yeah, and usually I just listen. I don't talk much.
Okay. Thanks, brother, man. Good to meet you, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. My videos. I can be on time. Okay, I want to go on mute for a while.
Marty, just a side note, when I don't respond to your DMs right away, sometimes I might be busy with other things, right? So
Oh, no
but
worries,
I might
brother. You don't even have to you don't have to say anything about that. Don't worry about it, bro. It's just a Discord message, man. Whenever you know.
right.
No worries,
It's
bro.
hard.
Nothing but respect, brother.
Yeah.
You always respond to me anyway, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. Well, talking about stargazing.
But yeah, what else are you guys talking about? Yeah, what's going on here?
Oh, we had this new guy. Yeah, he was talking a lot about new stuff. So I was just curious just to see where he was at. So I just wanted to hear him talk. Steve
Yeah,
wasn't having it though. So Steve, we
yeah, me
took the
neither,
fuck
bro.
out.
Me neither.
Oh yeah, you too. I think. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I kind of came in. I was like, oh my gosh, I had to leave. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, to each their own, man. People people like to
Some,
use their imagination and think about things, and theorize and whatever. That's cool.
No, he was a great guy,
it's
but
good to get a sense of somebody where they're at and what they're saying, and then you
Yeah.
can kind of
Yeah.
approach them and make them ask questions about certain things.
Yeah.
But anyways, what are you gonna say, Steve?
oh, nothing. Oh, just yeah, he was a good guy. And then you
Okay.
interrupted me. That you started it, but
Yeah, no, I kind of pushed you a bit over the edge. but I realized
I didn't
Nathan
have
was in here
nothing to say.
too, and I was like,
I
wait a
didn't have it.
second, we can't
Well, I didn't have
swear, and
anything.
I normally don't like swearing either myself, right? I like things more calm.
Yeah.
Wow. I am gonna have to
Because he
leave in
had some
about
good
10
stuff.
minutes.
He had some good stuff that he was talking about on some of it. But then he started going to La La Land a little bit.
Well, you see, he can have all these ideas, like like dinosaurs, right? But then you could just come in and say, well, what makes you think that? You know what I mean? Instead of just poo-pooing the whole conversation right off the gate, right?
Right, right. Well, I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to make sure that he's doing the factual information because, like when you start talking, because he was kind of talking about carbon dating or whatever, right? I mean, well, hell, I mean, it's a hoax to start with.
Yeah.
Well,
Was he
I'm a
believing
bit.
in dinosaurs? He was a
It
dinosaur
sounded
believer?
like
Oh,
sounded like.
He was even into soft tissue. It's like he was stretching it pretty good.
Well, you know what? QE is a dinosaur believer too, I think. So just so
no.
you guys. Yeah,
Well,
QE is a dinosaur.
dinosaurs is a kind of a weird word, though. You
I
got to
think he
remember.
is. I mean,
No,
don't quote me on it, but I think he
Yeah, I'm
is.
gonna
Well, you,
pretend I didn't
no,
hear
he
this, man.
doesn't. Dinosaurs are
you got to be
nice.
careful on
Fun.
that word, though, right? Because they took all the pictures. They took all the pictures from animals that looked like dinosaurs, right? And then you have that crazy one, that lizard. What do they call that crazy one? That great big one that's scarier than hell. God dang it, you guys. But anyway,
Godzilla.
but anyway, yeah. The dinosaurs are. I mean, they're not real per se, but I mean the animals, whatever the story, they bend it. They bend it. Who knows what kind of animals? Everything's kind of a hidden from us. I don't care how you slice it. You don't like it, that's not my problem.
Well, for me, as soon as people go anything to do with like archaeology and all that stuff, I already know there's like a lot of fraud in those areas.
Oh,
So
yes.
for me, it just goes right away. I get like a red flag. We'll go in those areas. So they could talk
Yeah,
about it, but then I'm gonna be like, well, okay, how do you know that? You know what I mean? And they got a good answer, then fine. If not, then I'll get them
then
thinking.
don't. Yeah. Well, yeah. No. The first thing is always tourist trap, right? Oh god, life is too funny nowadays when because you're totally thinking. You have to think all the time. Not what you thought.
So while we're here, while I got you guys still here, yo, check this. So, how come it's not coming out? Okay, this footage right here. The Glober. Last time I posted this, the Glober in the chat said, "Why is the bottom of the boat disappearing before the top?" Even though in the title of of this short vid I said like the horizon is beyond the boat. That's how stupid these people are. So horizon is beyond the boat, and he's asking how come the bottom is disappearing first.
I
What the
was thinking
heck,
about
man?
that. I was gonna say something on the Nathan show.
I don't say anything, bro, because they're, you know what I mean? Like, they literally toe tag themselves. They're retarded, dude. It's not worth response.
I was gonna say something about the R value on Nathan's show, and it ties into what you're talking about here. It's how do I put it? Because I was gonna say about the R value, instead of talking about like how they got the R value and how it's empirical and not begging the question and stuff like that, it seems like we always get caught off in the weeds. We go in the weeds with them about
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yep. I have to agree with that, man. Yep.
Because that's all that is. And when they do that, it's like, are they self-aware that they're doing that? Like,
I don't know.
why?
But at that point, it's a waste of your time, dude. Like, once you realize that it's how many times, can we go into the same conversations about bullshit?
Well, they obviously don't want the argument to move on if you're gonna land in the weeds, right? Because if they had something beyond it, they would just put it down, and they don't.
Yep. Correct, Harvin. I'm gonna play Neil for a second. Correct.
That's pretty good. Sounds pretty New Yorkie.
By the way, still no word from Neil, right?
He's online in Skype.
Yeah.
Like last I checked, so he's around. But
As long as he's well. Maybe he just
not
needs a break.
just excommunicated us for a bit. It seems. So yeah, sometimes a break is good. People on Discord say they do go on breaks, and they have been on breaks. So it does happen.
Or maybe he's gonna join Ball or Glowbusters. Can you imagine that? No, he wouldn't. But just it's a funny idea, though.
Isn't he on the Ballbusters logo?
No,
I mean,
I
intro.
meant Globe Busters.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you.
Oh, German then, right? Okay.
Yeah, that'd be something.
I would never do that, though. But it's a hilarious idea if he would. That he would be so pissed off he'd join Globe Busters. But yeah, what like
Yeah,
where? Why is nobody showing up these days? I guess it's
it's
all
I
matter of circumstances. I guess.
I noticed that. I was gonna say the exact same thing, Arwen. Sorry to cut you off. Um, I noticed that like you're right. Like Neil dropped, Chocolate Saying dropped. Still, even though he showed up once, but he's generally dropped in the overall picture of it. 10th just dropped. Who else dropped? Like, there's a lot of droppings that have happened just very fast. Oh,
I don't see Elijah
Well,
anywhere anymore.
oh yeah, Elijah. Somebody said they don't see anymore.
And where's Adam? I have seen him around, but I guess he isn't always there.
Oh yeah, Adam. He also a family member needs to see the stuff in or other. So, because he was supposed to be on Ballbusters and or not Ballbusters, the last QE live, and QE informed us that he had to check on family last minute.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Nathan said you were the only one on the show yesterday. I was in the panel, but I was also had Discord up. So I was actually talking to somebody else while I was on the panel, and I did hear Nathan mention my name once, and but that was about it. So it's just you and Nathan holding the fort, right, Darwin?
Yeah,
All right, well, good stuff,
I mean,
Darwin.
it was
Holding the
fun
fort.
though.
All right, that's good. I'm sorry I wasn't there though. Like I was busy with somebody else.
Well, if I get the room eventually, it'll turn into some kind of psychological conversation about the psychological nature of ballers and all that. And yeah, when I just get the room to do that, can be very interesting. And Nathan really gets me also with these things. So
What?
psychological conversations about ballers and how they think and all that, like yesterday. Right?
I don't think Nathan's paying that much attention. He's gaming. I know how it is.
yeah. So is this a show going on, or what's going on right now? Yeah.
Members
I
It's a
wonder.
only live
show
stream.
/ stress test,
Okay.
and I'm gonna be going in about like any minute now. So, um,
Well, I guess I gotta get moving too. Yeah. But are we still waiting for this fella, or it doesn't matter? We can do it tomorrow, right?
well, if he doesn't make it back in time, sure we can do
Yeah.
it another time.
Yeah.
Just about ready to leave. Let's see here. All right. Well, good show. What else to say? Nathan's still gonna go until it plunks.
11.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just your lunch, but he needs medicine and he needs a walk. He really needs a walk.
Go right now, yeah.
Walking medicine, eh? Okay.
Oh yeah, my doggy. I didn't know I wasn't muted. My doggy has he gets Keppra. I don't know if you know. It's an anti-seizure medication. He gets it 3 times a day. And yes, I do gotta give him a little walk, yeah. So I guess I'm gonna sign off right now, but if I see somebody on, I'll jump back on, and if not, I'll catch you out tomorrow.
All right. You have a very good day, mighty much.
As always, nice talking. Yeah, bro. Everybody have a great day, guys. Take care.
Take care. All right. Oh, yeah. I should message B while I'm leaving. Port. Well, nobody else piping up?
It's me.
Steve, eh? Well, I guess we'll have to settle for right, Steve?
You gotta scrape the bottom of the barrel. Just the way it is. I didn't write the rules. Man, oh man.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I don't know if Nathan's, I'll stay, hang out as long as Nathan wants somebody. I'll try to flip my gums. I don't know if he wants, what he's doing.
talk about the mud flood a little bit, and he'll probably sign off early.
I'll bring up something.
Is Aaron still there? Aaron, you there?
Oh, yeah, Oren's here.
Yeah, and they're kind of doing other things as well. So I wasn't really counting on hanging around that this late. But
That's the thing with Discord is like when you're on Discord and you're on there a lot, you can't always be in the conversation. You can't always be paying attention, right? And that's why it's nice to get like a variety of people talking, so everybody can take their break every now and then.
yeah, that does really work when you're like the only one there. Here at G Plus.
Right. What else to say? Hmm. Well, okay. I mean, I gave it a try. Come up with something. I didn't. Right. Subscribe to the Righteous Force channel. That's a good one.
There you go.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I got a
Don't forget your
video on.
Bible study. Announce your Bible study. Yep.
Yeah, we
Every
also
week.
got Bible studies in Discord if you guys are interested. Mondays and Fridays. Mondays early Eastern time and Monday evening Eastern time. I mean Friday evening. And for YouTube, we got I'm gonna be doing study on faith. I already got one video on faith, and I got a couple of more coming on faith. You see, I'll just do it really quickly. Like basically, I'm looking at what God's word says about faith and belief, right? Because when you look at God's word, well, what faith is, because faith is synonymous with belief. And you found out in order to be in faith or to believe according to God's word, is you have to know and be persuaded. And in the next video, I'm gonna look at like the dictionary definition, like Webster's or something. And when you look at it, or even in the etymology of the word belief, you find out that that's what the word belief actually meant. It's supposed to be evidence based. But today, it's the general, colloquial, popular, everyday belief. I mean, everyday usage of the word belief is what's popular, and that is basically belief, basically as a matter of opinion. So it's like like it all flip flopped. So now when people hear belief and faith, they just kind of laugh at it, like, "Oh, you believe and you have faith." When realistically, at one point, or one of the definitions of belief is, "Hey, you know what I mean? It's evidence based." So it's just kind of interesting to see that. But yeah, something point out in that one
Language.
video.
Yep.
Yeah, and we talked about that today on Nathan's show too, about
Yep.
like context to words and stuff like that, and it can mean so many things. And a colloquial definition is still a definition if it's colloquial.
Right.
And you know if it's colloquial or not based on, again, context. And sometimes some words can be so context sensitive. Like if you look up the word strong, it could be like 8 different things or more, maybe even 20, depending on the context. You can have like strong as in solid, or you can have strong as in strong colors, right? So context is very important for words.
Oh my God.
Because remember, I'll just, since I talk about the Bible, I'm promoting my Bible channel. Remember, Jesus said to doubting Thomas, reach thou hither and put your finger to my palm print, where he had the nails through his palm go, and thrust your hand in my side, where he got pierced with a spear, and be believing and not faithless, right? In other words, that was what?
No.
Evidence based. It was evidence based, right? He's like, here you
Yep.
go, touch, see. Anyways, with that, all right, Righteous Force channel, subscribe, and watch, thumbs up, all the good stuff. And with that, I'm gonna leave you guys. You guys have a good one, okay?
Right. Righteous. Thanks.
All right, bye bye.
Are you still there, Arwen? I thought you've been doing a pretty good job on the show lately.
Owen's obviously vanished. He's still here. He's still in the hangout.
What?
Indeed.
I'm sorry. I
What
stepped
was
on you,
it?
Nathan. Go ahead.
Somebody had a
Or
question?
there's. Oh no. Oh. I said you've been doing a good job on the show lately. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I've been
On
saying.
FTG or on my own show?
Well, both actually, but
Oh,
more
you
so
watch my
Nathan
show?
because I pay closer.
You watch my show?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, not every morning because you do it earlier, right? Than Nathan. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right before.
Nathan is like Nathan's like 5 o'clock in the morning for me. Fuck.
So what? You just get up at 3. What's the problem? No, I get it.
He's retired, not stupid.
Are you West Coast USA? Are you West Coast USA?
Yes, yes.
All right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm in Seattle, close or west of Seattle. Yeah.
Well, that's why my show is called the Early Bird Show, because it's really early for the United States. So
Right.
a lot of people that come visit my show are either British or something, or they are like people that get up super early for really early job type. That kind of. It's surprising though how many Canadians and Americans do actually hang around in my chat on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But maybe it's kind of like a social effect, because it's like if you take the effort to actually get up during that time and you're there, then that moment in time also like becomes your little private club, because you
Right.
got to the point where you're actually taking effort to be awake at that time and be not just half asleep. And then it really becomes your private club kind of thing. And it is. I mean,
Oh yeah.
and that's kind of nice
Well, it's
about it.
people. Yeah. Well, that's what we do out here. We develop a lot of friendships, really.
Friendships? What is that? No, I don't have any
Well,
more
yeah.
face-to-face friends, really. I mean, I am in
Yeah.
relative good standing now in relation to other people compared to, say, 10 years ago, because of my attitude. It's just dramatically changed, really. But
Yeah.
I don't
That's
really
what.
have
Well,
friends.
that's kind of
Like
what I.
all those people I hung around with back then, they're all gone,
Yeah.
except for my
Yeah,
dad.
that's what kind of what I was. Yeah, that's what I was kind of talking about was your attitude. I guess it was, but yeah. See, I mean, it's such a crazy world, Arwen, right? Holy cow!
For every person I knew in my life, everybody that I considered my friend, all of them, I always had to hold back something, or they like would go nuts at me. And when Flat Earth happened, it was like, okay, and it was like the final straw. It's like yeah, just because I
It's like
did that,
what?
they all just like, okay, now I'm done with it. I'm done with you. Like they didn't even like consciously say it. It just they went on autopilot and just suddenly ejected me from their inner world. This
Right.
is really freaky. And then, but for me, I mean, Flat Earth has really been a liberation from that peer
Oh,
pressure
freedom!
that I've been living under all
Freedom!
my life. It wasn't just, oh, I figured out Flat Earth. No, it was like, no, I'm now
Freedom!
just going to say it. I'm going to just say it. I'm going to yell it, right? What you going to do, right? I'm not going to be peer pressured about it anymore. I'm not going to hold my tongue anymore because somebody might get mad, right? Fuck you. I'm saying it.
No swearing.
I'm talking about it. Yeah, whatever. Nathan. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
freedom.
it. It was a real liberation of just like I'm done with pretenses. I'm done with holding back because of peer pressure, because that's happened all my life, like severely. I've really been burdened by that, but I didn't see any other way out because I couldn't find anybody who would side with me on the truth part. There were some people that were really into it, but they were terrified about talking about it openly. Like I had to pull it out of them, and they like basically made me swear not to tell anybody, right? That's not somebody you're like, yeah, that's like an occult little club. It's not very comforting, right? And Flat Earth, the opening 2015, like completely changed all of that for the first time. Where
Exactly.
suddenly you don't have to keep it occulted anymore for the very, very first time ever. And everything was tied in with the freaking Flat Earth. Like, this might sound weird, but I got to know a couple of people that were really cool people back then. They were really truthers in the 90s and early 90s who basically said, like, yeah, history is not accurate. There are stories that are being planted, and like there is issues with the Holocaust, but don't talk about it because they'll like arrest you for it, right? But I learned about those types of things like when I was freaking 10, 11.
Yeah.
And it was like the secret between me and the teacher. But if I'd even like talk about it in class with fellow students, and I thought like, oh, they're just kids, like they would go ape shit on me. Like really bad. Like I was a terrorist or something. Crazy. So peer pressure, peer pressure, peer pressure all the time. And now it's done. I'm like, I am not going to be under anybody's peer pressure anymore. And hopefully I don't starve to death because of that decision. Right? Because who's going to support me? It's going to be anybody who's like going to resonate enough with what I'm doing to be, to find out a way how to keep me up. I want to keep going, but I'm like literally, like, it's not an exaggeration. It's all about the food, you know? Like, how do I not be demoralized from not knowing if you're going to eat in 3 days? And it's not an exaggeration. It really isn't.
Right. You live in Holland? Where do you live?
Yeah, Netherlands,
Yeah.
Utrecht.
So, or they got terrible welfare programs?
No, it was actually pretty good. But then the prices of everything just skyrocketed out completely.
Right.
The Netherlands has like the biggest effective, it's not literally, but effective inflation the entire world. It's crazy
Going on right now.
And so our income has not increased. Like the welfare income hasn't increased. The general payment hasn't increased. So everybody's like really suddenly like, the hell is happening? Like basic maintenance becomes impossible all of a sudden with things.
Oh man,
it's really
prices have gone up. It's all part of the gig going on right now.
Right. But my general situation in the last 2 years has just become, if I don't get support income, and even with the social welfare that I am on, which was originally like a very doable scenario, like I won't be able to eat. It's that messed up right now. And I'm not the only one that has this issue. Like,
well, no,
I'm sort of lucky enough to sort of have a community who's like willing to actually, if they can, support me. There's plenty of people out here that don't have that. They like only can get scraps from the neighbors if they're lucky, right? At best. They don't have some kind of community where they are like a figure of prominence with stories and that everybody likes to listen to, which I am. So it's just messed up, and I'm really worried about my fellow countrymen and women. On top of worries about myself, but I think that I will be able to relatively get through poverty and hunger better than the average person because I've already kind of been living sort of like that for a while, really focusing on like, how do I get by with minimum food in an effective way without like making me sick over time. So I'm already kind of prepared for this, but still, like other people out there will not be.
And that's my point. I bring up,
like
I bring that up all the time.
So while I'm relatively stable in the scenario that's unfolding, other people are going to turn into powder kegs.
Yeah. Yeah, if it gets bad, it's going to get, people are going to be in trouble. Holy cow. And like you say, getting by with as little as possible. That's part of the gig right now, right? Because everything you do is about the devil anyway. And so if you don't pull out of everything you're involved with him, you're wasting your money anyway. And then they trick you on the food too, and plus they poison you with the damn stuff half the time. So,
well, they want to make it harder so that you'll choose the cheaper stuff just to survive, but that way you get the slow kill.
Yeah, you get like taking a vaccine. It's only in the food.
No, it's not to that stage yet. That's
here's the thing about God, right? See, they can't lie about God and how things physically work. That's what people get confused, right? No, they lie
Yeah,
about.
they can
Well,
lie
they lie
about how
about it.
things physically work. Duh.
No. I get. Well, I'm saying is like me and you operating with God, exchanging facts about how God works. See that physics. See, people don't like physics. That's what you're talking about right now. Being able to drink your water and a little bit of food and basically survive on what the minimum amount. God says, hey, this is all you need. I mean, because here's the thing, right? You've been trained to eat too much. That's just a fact.
No, but what we do, what typically is the Western problem, is that we overestimate our capacities, then we fall short, then we try to compensate it with drugs or other things to like beef ourselves up unnaturally to achieve that overachievement, and then we burn ourselves out in the process. And that's it. And like
You gotta
the job demands and all that become higher too to actually play into that influence. So people will like basically mess themselves up just to be able to have a decently paying job. So what it does, it doesn't on the long run build skilled workers that are really reliable. It simply burns out the people that have the most capacity. And then you lose the people that have the most capacity in the end. That's what this does. It's a big problem.
Well, yeah. That's the point, right? You know, guess what? They didn't land on the moon. You're full of shit. Welcome to the club.
Right. Well, on the long run, what you end up with is a lot of like crippled, broken, good people that have worked themselves busted. And you have a lot of like spoiled, skittish, scaredy, whiny demon people that are repulsive that'll literally like just gobble everything up like zombies. That's what you're going to end up with. It's the same effect, by the way, that happens from very prolonged wars. Because wars get people that are brave enough to fight the wars
The wars
killed.
have been forever. The wars have been forever. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? You got to wake up to your lie about the history. So here you are, you know, half the time you're arguing about BS, right?
Well, the point about wars, and especially prolonged wars, is, can you hear me? The point about prolonged wars is they burn up the people that are brave enough to fight those wars. And so in the end, after several generations of this war, you end up with a bunch of nerdy scaredy cats and gays. That's what literally happened. And I mean, even Hitler wrote about that in Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
Because it's true. It's literally what happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I say you're on your own. You know, like I say, you're on your own. That's why I say God. See, the first thing a man has to come to terms with, God, then you. Now, see, that's what that's where people don't quite want to step up to the plate because there's nobody above you now. That's what people don't get is white coat authority. Oh, respect my authority. Well, you're dealing with a world of liars. Just be careful.
Right. Well,
Every
when
man a liar.
Well, it's all about what do you want? Do you want the comfortable, easy way out where you're going to have to cuck and likely lie, being under the guard of somebody? And then suddenly you'll get all swept under the carpet and get killed? Or are you going to go like a very heavy long-term struggle that will definitely feel like it will never, ever end? And then maybe you become victorious in the end, and probably eventually after that moment is over, people will forget about it and then completely forget about you that you even did anything. Yeah, that's the reality. Those are the real two choices. I'm done now. Now you can respond. Thank you.
Yeah, well, like I said, I only roll with Christ. The wake-up call is Christ. That's my point I'm making. See, I can come out here and argue with you about anything, right? But the point I'm making is that if you don't savvy God, then you, the most enlightening statement a man can receive, so you can see and visualize the world today that we live in. There's nothing but bullshit artists out here. I don't care who the hell you are. You're full of shit. I mean, it's just the way it is. I didn't make these rules up. That's why when you start doing these conspiracies, they're never endless. It's not, is that a, yeah. And that's why when we talk, we can't get nowhere because people don't understand physics. And then they want to go to psychology. They don't even savvy. Guess what, numbnuts? You have to know physics before you start going to la la land.
Yeah, but psychology today isn't even psychology. It's all a bunch of Marxist horseshit.
Yeah,
What you get to learn. You get to learn a
exactly.
bunch of ideologies, bullshit psychology.
That's what. Yeah, America is a communist country. See, that's what people have to savvy that, right? Like, I'm 70 years old. 20 years ago, or whatever it was, I listened to I said, "Holy crap! The communists took over all the colleges," and you could tell just by all the propaganda that they were saying on the college campuses. But whatever, right? I'm just saying that the game, like I said, God in you, and that allows you to see the secrets because it's about secrets.
It's about a stacking number of truths that become increasingly more difficult to be able to consciously handle.
Right. Yeah. Especially
And the
when you
more
come out here.
difficult become, the more strenuous you become. And people have reflexes to basically dumb themselves down so they don't get fried by the strain of knowledge. That's what's really going on in this world.
Well, you have to ask yourself, how much of a baller are you? See, like when you come out and talk about psychology, you're talking about number one. Me and you'd be talking about, man, what's their psychology, right? What are they thinking? See, then you come out here and you do this for 10 years, and you go with flat earthers, man. It's like, holy cow, man, they're not catching on to the psychology game. They're still half baller. And like I say, if you're not doing cog thinking on every topic and willing to dig in from zero, like I say, they own the fiat money system, for Christ's sakes. I can do anything I want to you. Anything. And I control the airwaves. For Christ's sakes, there's nothing on TV or your music or, I mean, it's a big fun game that people don't want to wake up to. It's not my fault that God dumped us where we're at here. People don't get that. They don't want to step up to the plate.
Well,
They want to bullshit.
people
I've
are
been out here for
born
10 years.
to step up to the plate, but then when they actually
10
get to the
years.
moment in life, then suddenly they find that it's very scary. And it's not so scary
Well, yeah,
when you look at it from a timeless perspective while in heaven before you're born. But then it's like,
Yeah,
oh, I want to do it. I'm going to incarnate in this person to get in that situation. But then when you actually face it, it's a lot scarier than when you're looking at it from heaven. And that's the real human dilemma.
well, not with God. There's nothing scary about being alive, for Christ's sakes. I mean, what? That's what I'm saying. It's like flat earthers. I got the greatest secret told to them. Hey, guess what? It's not true. So here you go. That means you have to really now take God's given high intelligence, not listening to some dumbass that doesn't know shit from Shinola. So you get out here. You get a bunch of flat earthers arguing with ballers. It's fucking retarded out here.
No swearing.
So sorry, Nathan. Sorry. No, my language. I grew up language. Language is so critical itself. That's the first thing you learn when you come out here as a flat earther is language. These guys argue about definitions of words. My God. And then, what were they? Oh, yesterday I had to listen to them talk about push pull, argue about push pull. God.
It all depends on what your definition of the word definition is.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. That's what that's the. But see, here's the thing, though, right? When you're dealing with honest men, then you don't argue about definitions. You come to an agreement. It's ridiculous to argue.
Well, you come to an understanding, right? It's all about
Right.
making
Yeah.
others understand what you mean and then being able to place it in the proper context.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, here we go, psychology again, right? See, like they took math, whatever, 50 years ago or whatever, and they turned it into what we call pseudoscience. And that's what they did. And it took their brains, and these people are certain programmed. Like I say, brainwashing we know this, real thing. That's what I'm saying. If you don't know you're brainwashed, you definitely are brainwashed. That's the only way you cannot be brainwashed, especially today. It's like, hey, I'm not believing a damn word anybody says. That's retarded.
Well, I believe a lot of people believe what they say, they just don't understand what they say.
Right, that's baller. That's what I'm saying about the baller. See, the mind, belief, we talk about it all the time. That's why your belief system is so critical. And versus knowing, which is supposed to be, if you have a belief, you're supposed to know, but they trick you. But your mind, that's why these guys are so brainwashed. Their
Well, the point
mind,
is that your beliefs
psychology.
should be used for entertainment rather, while your knowledge should be relied upon. But in a society
Right.
of
I mean,
vast luxuries, hold on, society of vast luxuries, people unfortunately end up choosing to rely on their beliefs instead of on what they know because they don't
trust.
need to anymore.
Right, trust. That's what I'm saying. We have to agree on what they did to us. Trust is one of them. You trust me, I'll give you a pill. Trust me, I'll educate your kids. Trust me.
Because who else do you have, right? You thought you
Exactly.
could
Yeah.
just
Well, I mean,
lean on society to provide for you, but then society didn't exactly provide for you the way that you really needed. But what else do you have? You didn't
yeah.
maintain
Well,
the self sufficiency, you didn't maintain the knowledge, the medical knowledge passed on for family generations on how to get by without the system. So many
right.
people just
And
didn't
that's what,
care. They didn't think it was necessary.
right. And that's where we're at now, Arwen, is getting back. That's what I'm saying. If these people, just like you talking about the food, it's all getting back to minimum to start with. Like I say, people come out here and worship the damnedest things. And all you're doing is being goofy, right? I mean, like football, any type of, any of that Hollywood professional type of business, you're just supporting the part of the lies. It's a whatever, right? But I'm just saying, everybody's going to land. Well, number one, I think there's so few of us flat earthers, and then the brain itself. I think it comes down to like 1% of the population, to be honest with you. God tells you a lot about that too, right? I mean, you know, don't be wasting your pearls with swine. See, it's moving so fast right now. Like I don't. There's a lot of truth channels out there.
Yeah, there might
But
be an
yeah,
increasing amount of truth channels, but the quality, overall quality of the truth that truth channels deal in is rapidly decreasing as well. The standards are
Yeah,
lowering,
totally.
and people's expectations are lowering as well.
Well, I mean, the control is worse than people think, right? I don't, like no matter who you name, right? You have to, I don't care, right? Steve Crowder, any of them, right? I don't care. I'm not going to make an opinion of them. But here's the thing, right? They're all influencers. It's a great big fun game that we got thrown in. That you're no matter what. Here's the thing, like you learn when you grow up, like Arwen, right? Anything you say, someone else is going to argue with you. That's kind of what you learn as you grow up BSing with other people, right? It's no big deal. It's just human nature again. That's back to God, then you. It's always going to come right back to your brain. Like I say, people that don't savvy the spiritual realm, you're lost, my friend.
Well, if you
Well,
don't have
out
a
here.
spiritual context for everything that happens and what you do, you're just gonna be guided by your base instincts of the
Man,
moment. It won't have a
man,
meaning
yeah, you'll be,
other than short term.
yeah, man, yeah, man. That's what you got to be careful with, man, right now. Man knowledge. Be careful.
Well, it's like the mechanical knowledge. Like social engineering is being abused by people that don't care. But also, Marxism uses atheism and ignorance and places it on their targets to weaken them, ironically.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. That's why religion is, that's why they trick you on, you're supposed to know, That's why I say
Yeah,
Christ
but
isn't a religion.
hold on, religion is just as strict because a lot of people in religion, they're just blabbering on and they try to find bits of wisdom, and sure, that's there, but they bear seriously. So many people that hold on to religion, they're just using it as a giant crutch, and they just chase dogmas and they get into pointless, endless fighting. So it's the same shit, dude, in religion.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's all everything is out here. There's nothing out here in your life that isn't religion. Nothing. Period. It's all a bunch of stupid ass belief systems. And they know this. That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying about your belief system.
Yeah, but it isn't. It isn't necessarily that. It is about the behavior. Like every group, where every category, religion, a people, a nation, an interest,
Yeah.
they all form
They're
groups.
called.
But hold
Yeah.
on, let me finish the point, please. Like whatever you're doing, whatever you're putting energy in, you always risk of getting caught up in just a polarized dichotomy of bickering within that specific field, which will cause you not to make progress. It will just be back and forth, pulling ropes, right? And just like in politics. And but that risk is everywhere. And thus every religion, every group always has what I call their grabblers. They're not of a specific race or religion. They're just people that abuse social engineering tactics, like creating false dichotomies, getting people caught up in it to make money out of it, to make them spend everything on that and become enslaved that way. And that's what I call grabblers. And they're in everything. They're in all the religions. They are effectively the Marx, the anti-religion, the pro-religion. They all do it.
Yeah. Yeah. They make you stupid. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's a religion. See,
Hold on, it's not making stupid though.
Your teachers teach you religion. You go to college, they teach you a belief system. See, religion, I guess maybe we don't agree on religion. It's your belief system.
But
See, and then you
on.
come out here in the real world. Okay, let me finish real quick. You come out here in the real world, you decide that these scientists or whatever educators, you understand that they're religious. They teach, they corralled, took away the truth, because that's not religion. See, it's that's a big hoax out here, Arwen. I don't want to argue too much about anything, really, to be honest with you, but it's tricky.
Yes, but I just wanted to say that nobody can make you stupid. What they do is they give you the easy way out, which will have the price of you becoming stupid, whether you realize that or not. lot of people that make these decisions think they're very smart for doing that when they make those decisions, and then end up enormously regretting it to the point where they can't even admit it, that it was a mistake. And that's what really happens.
Right. That's where you got to come to agreement, me and you, on our brain. See, God made you highly intelligent, just like me. See, now smart. Now here we go. Language. So me and you both know we're highly intelligent. I don't need to argue with you about anything. We can get the science book out and look at it. But see, as soon as you don't understand that you're highly intelligent, you're going to go thinking you're smarter than I am. Smart and stupid are physical things. See, you're highly intelligent. That's where the 1-2 punch comes in. Everything's about the truth. Everything.
Well, if you don't understand the truth, then how can you make sense of things, right?
You can't. You can't. That's why the human body. That's why I say my biggest emphasis is always God, then you, which is you personally too, right? Like me too. I'm in the same boat, Arwen. I'm just older, and we got dumped into this place. It's cool. God did it. I don't have regrets about anything in my life. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try and
I do.
give God's word as much as possible. Go ahead.
Well, I do have regrets.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not. Yeah, but that's back behind you, right? We can't do a damn thing about it. Only you can make. Those are memories. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we all
also,
got
I mean,
regrets.
I can fairly assess, look way back, and even really truly remember what it was like. And every time I do and I get honest about it, it's like when on the surface, I've always had this terrible habit of looking back and saying, like, I was such a stupid little kid. Always like I hated myself.
Right.
It sucked.
Right.
But when I actually started thinking honestly about it, it's like, no, I was just way in over my head and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see any of it.
Right.
So I was even in
Lesson.
retrospect kind of lucky that it didn't end up worse. And that's how I think about it
Right.
now.
Right. Life, man. Yeah, life. That's why everybody's story is so critical. Everybody. We all have our own. But the human,
Right, but it's
the
also
man,
a psychological contemporary effect in the moment that
right?
when it's fresh, you're very overwhelmed. You get all the sensations, right? I still remember how overwhelming Flat Earth was when it all broke open. There was just this wave of manic enthusiasm and like, yeah, we're gonna get it. Like nothing else before. That's all gone now. But I still remember
Yeah.
how it was. And like people forget what it was like before they got into their expertise often, because you get so used to where you are at with your knowledge in the moment that people that are just like you but don't know anything, you'll scoff at them naturally because you're like, why are you so uninformed, right? Unless you're like really careful, and then you can spot the real newbies and not do that. But this is like a typical problem for everybody, becoming experts about things, and then you lose insight on what it was like not knowing it, thereby creating this social bridge between you as an expert and who you're teaching. And that makes it less successful. And I've really been trying to keep track of this. And humility in this very specific instance is the key. That it's very important as a good teacher to always remember that you are actually the student and your students are the teacher. They just might not completely realize that that is how it actually works. There's this weird reversal situation that naturally happens with student and teacher, and I had it a lot when I was young. When I am the student, I completely overwhelm my teachers with knowledge. I do it every time because they break it open and then they get it. And so the student is always when the student is brilliant, they're always the teacher. And the teacher has Every good student makes the teacher, gives them an opportunity to literally level up in that moment in their knowledge, thanks to the power of their student teaching them with the fresh energy that they don't have because they've been past that for so long. If you regain that the presence of somebody learning that, then that revigorates your own energies within that subject. Are you still following?
Yeah,
I'm still listening in. I
I'm
was
being
writing
very
along.
inspired.
There's Nathan. Go ahead, Nathan.
I just said I was listening.
Yeah, no, I was listening. Now I forgot what I was going to say though. But yeah.
Student teacher, you know, when you really got a good student and a teacher, and it doesn't really work when you have a teacher and then 22 people in the room, right? Because then if a student tries to do that, then they will suddenly get opposed by other students. They get jealous and all that. When you're just a student and a teacher, two people, it works perfect, right? Private tutoring worked really well because of this. A private tutor stays with their student like their entire youth, and they really get to know them, and then they know who to get in for specialist knowledge to teach them because they know the kid. They're there during the entire growth process. The kid trusts the teacher because he's always been the teacher, right? And so the growth becomes much higher. And this is also why in the medieval times, when there was no organized schooling really right, it's just the people did it, and there was a craft system. So you had the craftsman, and then you had the craftsman student, and they effectively had that going on. That's why it works so well. That's why all these craftsmen developed incredible expert knowledge, right? That you don't find anymore with people that graduate top of the class, even in current day, because the system doesn't make you or allow you to grow like that. You have to, like, if you don't have the talent to master what they're going to shove in you, you just don't, it doesn't work out. But there's very little new developments because of this.
Yeah. Well, right now, probably as many as possible right now, just because of the computer, right? So we do have, it's here we go, double-edged sword, but it can be used for good, for sure.
What are you talking about?
Oh, just being educated, basically, like we were just talking about, your tutor giving you the whole shebang about how to build something. I mean, because that's the craziest thing out here, right? I'm 70 years old, and I'm all physical, right? My whole life. And you discover that that's what one of the main things they took away is physics, physical building physics. People don't know it. They don't even understand basic land surveying, flat earthers. They'll argue about basic land surveying for days. No, it's crazy out here.
Yeah, but land surveying has been like as a profession has been like severely targeted by social engineering.
Yeah, whatever, right? But I'm just saying,
subsidized
any man
specifically to be all globified. It's like subsidized.
Well, I'm just saying
for that.
I'm just saying any man can pick up a transit and learn how to operate a transit, the basics. See, like right now as a flat earther, I found that a lot of flat earthers don't do research. You know, they just whatever. I don't know what they do.
Going around and seeing what's going on and what's being said. Because, I mean, the need for actual research, despite it's advisable and really necessary, it's become practically less necessary because there's just so many people that can phrase things right. And when people are around and continually phrasing things right, it makes people, well, because of pragmatism, side with them as a source instead of like getting to the nitty gritty research. And that's just what happens. It's logical. It's luxury, basically. That's the reason. Luxury of having people around that are really good at phrasing things that you're interested in. It makes the necessity for personal, detailed research go down enormously in the public.
Right. In the public, yeah.
I've been pissing around with this computer for hours, and I cannot get it to replicate the fault that it had in the live show, or after show rather. I can't get it to do it. I've stressed it. I've turned things up. I've turned things down. I can't get it to do it again, which makes me very sad because it means that I don't know what caused it.
But maybe it was really just a random fluke or an energy spike or something like that.
Get
something
stuffed with your random energy spike. I want to know what caused it.
It was a gremlin, Nathan.
Gremlin.
A gremlin did it.
Anyway, I can't figure out what. I can't force it to do it. You know, I know how to make the graphics card fall over, and I've turned it up, turned it down, and I know how to do other things to stress the computer, and it hasn't fallen over. It hasn't done what it did. Okay, I give up. Which means tomorrow I've got just about the same level of confidence with this computer as I've always had with it. Hey ho.
Positive vibes, Nathan. Positive vibes.
Yeah, it's a never-ending cycle of testing and finding the limit, realizing it, turning it down a bit below that limit, and then finding.
Sorry.
My bad. Go ahead, Arwin. It's not like I haven't said a bloody word for about 3 straight hours, but anything. Go ahead.
Hey, once I get going, man. No, but seriously, just think about it. You're complaining about your computer not breaking down. Just think about it for a moment.
You want it to break down under controlled circumstances so you can find out what the limit is that caused it to break. And then you go below that so it doesn't do it again. But if you can't make it do it, that's a struggle. Everything's cool. Like, I'm looking at my RAM, which is normally the fault of everything, and it's 48C. It's like really chilling. I look at the CPU, 50C. GPU, 49C. Nothing's hot. So I'm like, okay, nothing's overheating. That was normally the problem. So what's causing it? I don't know.
Look, there are such things as completely untraceable flukes. It really happens in computer world. A lot has always been happening. Always. Sure,
but when
it's gotten down.
Yeah, but when you've been messing around for about 14 straight months with an unreliable computer, you can't in your right mind just say, oh yeah, it's just a random fluke. Can you? Let's be honest. Anyway, I'm gonna round out.
If it's not reoccurring, then you can.
It was a new thing. It had never done that before. It's never turned off it's never muted every single playback line in Windows 10 or Windows 11 as it is now. It's never done that. That's a new one on me. Now, because I know my way around just purely through working with sound, back when I was a rep for a manufacturer of audio equipment, we were selling Bluetooth transmitters or transceivers or whatever you class them as. Anyway, that meant I had to know my way around the sound settings in Windows, not in Banana, which I've had to learn subsequently. But it meant that it's one of those things that you've got it on your list of things to check. So while I'm trying to get back into the Hangout and trying to talk to you guys, and you can see me popping in, but you're not hearing anything from me, right? And I can't hear anything from you. Nothing's coming in my line, but when I turn the mic line to come out of my speakers, it does. So the desk's working. I'm like, what's going on? So I went into sound, checked all of the inputs, they're all there, show the disabled devices, see if one of them's taken control, none of them had. Then you go into recording and see if one of the recording lines has taken control and become the default device. It hadn't. Then you go back into the playback devices and go into properties. And then you open up the properties and everything seems normal. It's all running at the right frequency. Then you go into advanced properties. Then you go into levels. And in levels, it shows 100%. But there's a little tiny mute right next to the 100% that you'd really easily miss if you didn't know what to look for. And I spotted it and went, why has that happened? Who the hell has decided to randomly mute lines in Windows 10 What? Of all the faults. My kid finds it funny. My distress. Not funny, Clover. It's very distressing. Anyway, I'm going to round out before my kid starts going bananas. So if you are watching this live, massive thank you to all of you for tuning in, smashing the super chat. Not that I've been paying attention to that, so if you have, thank you very much. If you haven't, then why not? God damn you. We're all poor. You heard Darwin begging. But in all seriousness, thank you for tuning in, smashing the super chat if you're watching after the fact, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a member if you're watching this as you've just joined, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!